there, and welcome back to Weird Soda for Life. Today we're going to discover whether blondes have more fun. Ah? Ah? You get it. And also, that really wasn't a pun, that was just more an anecdote. Look. But anyway, welcome back. Today we are trying Oak Creek Blonde Root Beer, which today is not put out by Oak Creek. I know I'm just as surprised as you are. Perhaps are we up Oak Creek without a paddle? Dang it, that was a pun. Uh, but anyway, um, but actually, Oak Creek today is owned by Sprecher Brewing, which sort of surprised me when I saw it on the side of the bottle. It had the website for Sprecher, and I was like, this is odd because it doesn't really match their branding. Sprecher is very the I think the way I would phrase it is the things that we associate with Germanic culture, the distinct font, the crest, the reds and the blacks and the yellows, and also if you branding aside, Sprecher is known for having like fire. I'm missing the word there, but it's all like their sweeteners are honey based, right? For their sodas, right? It's super cool. I have enjoyed many a Sprecher in my time, but this is not, and so I was a little intrigued by the differences, right? Especially since Sprecher has its own honey root beer. Like it has its own root beer. So like where does this bad boy come into the mix? And this is one of those moments where there wasn't a lot of history. I know I kind of say that a lot on the channel, but I can tell you what I discovered. First things first, um, this is another one of those small craft soda launching stories, right? We've had a few of those, especially as we reach into the 2010s, right? We've talked about some of the natural sodas and everything else. This is another one of those. So, the best that I can tell, this actually did start and was created by Oak Creek Barrel Aged Soda, which was a company, and I found it. I found the website. And it had all of them listed, and here it really describes the blonde root beer as I think the thing that shows the mastery of their system. um but their system is unique, and what they're actually doing is that the sodas are being aged in American oak barrels, for at least a year, again like you would do with a lot of barrel aged beer, for lack of, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, I guess. But because of that, because you get that rich oakiness, like you kind of get a sweetness, a little more mellowness. And the interesting thing about this, as I said before, Sprecher like sweetens their sodas with honey. Um, they actually, this distinct color actually comes from brown sugar. That's the thing that's giving it this lightness. And I think, and we'll find out, of course, I think some of the more root beer associated notes we get, like that vanilla, that kind of caramel, things like that, may actually be coming from the barrel that it's aged in. Um, and it's specifically got like 25% brown sugar and then 75%, um, well, I was going to say real sugar, but like brown sugar is real. I'm not denying brown sugar. I am not that conspiracy theorist. Do not drag me into that well. Um, but so because of that, it lends it to a lighter color. And but the website I found, the last updated date, the copyright date, was 2014. So if that site, I mean, that site is online and it still exists, but I think if you put your information into it, you're probably not getting a bottle of this root beer. Um, so again, how does it get from 2014 to now? Next thing I found on my my breadcrumb trail was an article about Sprecher acquiring um, different brands of soda for its portfolio. Um, I really want to say this article was from like 2018. No, it was from 2021. My apologies. And in this article, Sprecher acquired several different brands from Wit Beverage Co. Uh, And actually, one of the brands we've had on the channel before, we tried Green River a couple of years ago on the channel. A very distinct, like unique soda. And I think at the time I had noted that it was also owned by Sprecher now. And this is one of the sodas that it acquired in the brand portfolio update. It also ended up with like Caruso Italian sodas. I've seen a few of those around in the last few years, but it also acquired this at the time. So sometime between 2014 and 2021, Wit Beverage Company actually bought the brand, and then Sprecher bought it. And it's like, well, why did they do that, right? And it's actually kind of for those reasons that I mentioned before. This is distinctly different from their Sprecher brand, right? So as they're diversifying their portfolio, they want to stick to the sodas, but they want to give more people different things from what they want, right? And so, because it's a small craft batch, everything else, it fits in there. But they viewed this sort of as how do I put this? Bougie. They viewed this as bougie root beer. Because they were like Sprecher, we are rough and tumble, we are hardy Wisconsinites. Oak Creek, you are not, although you're aging things in barrels, and that's supposed to also be tough. I don't know. I don't want to get into these barrel wars. That's for Donkey Kong, not me. Um, but um, by offering this, right, it's a different sort of aesthetic. It's a different sort of crowd than what may be interested in Sprecher. Um, and it kind of helped them with kind of getting their brand into more places, right, and in different ways. And so now, Sprecher has now integrated Oak Creek. And since Sprecher has like a distribution level of like 49 states, it kind of works out. I don't know what the 50th state is, but if that is not in there, but if I had to guess, I would guess it's probably not one of the continuous 48. I'd guess it's probably either Hawaii or Alaska. Hit me up if you do know what state Sprecher doesn't um, distribute to. But anyway, the interesting thing about this too, of course, again, is that it's unique. Um, but long story short, doesn't really fit with the brand, but it kind of does fit with their overall vibe, right? So with that, let's try one of the few blonde root beers that make it to market. But first, let's take a look at the bottle. Um, so, I didn't think about this. It's got a white label. That's a sign. That's bad. I don't know. Can I make it darker? What is happening? Uh, this is so bad. Um, okay. Well, you can kind of get the gist here. Um, it doesn't reflect super well, but you see the Oak Creek, you see the redness. Let's see, can I do this? But what you can't see or is not coming through in the camera. Oh, if I tilt it, guys, I mean, I hate that this is the most relevant part of the videos. We still 3+ years in, frantically arguing with the label. But you can see from the lightness of the root beer, right? What you can't see super well here is that this is blonde root beer and it's in gold, and the gold is actually the same color as the liquid, which I think is a nice touch. All my grumbling about not being able to get the capture on the camera, like, aside. Another thing that I'm gonna hope comes through, yeah, that does come through, is that it says it's zero proof, which is not a thing I really have ever thought about with root beer. I mean, yes, we had that not your father's root beer craze a few years ago, but for the most part, I don't think of root beer as like being something that's alcoholic. And but I guess with the aging in the bottles, maybe I guess they have to put that warning on there, especially it does too that Sprecher itself also, again with its sodas, also still makes beer. That's their bread and butter. But yeah, and so you can see here, you got the SprecherBrewery.com. With that, let's see what we can see, shall we? Oh, are you y'all? This is a twist top. Oh, guys, it was it was a twist top. My hands are just weak. Okay, well that's fun for me. Okay, so smelling it, it does smell like root beer. It smells like a sweeter sort of root beer. But yeah, it smells like root beer. Um, and with that, bottoms up. I like that, and it's a little different. Yes, you definitely get notes of root beer. It tastes like root beer. But what's interesting about it is that in addition to being a little sweeter, I talked a little bit about the sweeter scent before, it is a little smoother, right? But it actually kind of tastes like a combination between root beer and cream soda. Like, I think that's probably because of the aging in the barrels, right? It's supposed to bring out like different notes. This tastes like a blend between a root beer and a cream soda, and that's actually quite good. It's kind of a little bit like that A&W ice cream sundae soda we had on the channel a few weeks ago, um, where the ice cream sundae soda had some hints of chocolate in it, right? But underneath that was like like vanilla and the root beer as if it kind of could have been a float. I'm not quite saying that this tastes like a root beer float because cream soda is slightly more distinct than vanilla ice cream, right? When you're mixing them together, but it's certainly a cousin. This cousin is blonde, and it is delicious. Um, yeah, I would drink that again. Again, the longer it lets it kind of like linger in here, I do think it is a little overly sweet for me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you couldn't cut it with some ice and then uh, be golden. Um, but A plus plus would try again. We'll drink more of it once we're done filming. Um, and like again, this is another one I got from the Museum of Root Beer, but because of Sprecher's large distribution levels, you might be able to get it where you're at, unless you're in the mysterious 50th state. Perhaps the state is denial. um, Maybe the state should be bargaining. But anyway, A plus plus would drink this. Go get it if you like root beer, and yeah, I what a good time. I don't know. I would be interested in trying other blonde root beers to hear how they get those flavors. But for right now, I'll stick with this one. Next week, we're going a little bit back to Anne's Amish Adventures. I have a few more of those in the pile. And we are going to try this giant bottle called Teddy's Strawberries and Cream Soda. And we're going to see if it's good or if it's disappointing. I don't know. I guess we'll find out when I see how much it was paid for at the Amish Center. Until next time, drink weird, and it's too late now. But if you have a time machine, go back to the 2010s and make small batch craft soda because apparently it's going out like gangbusters now. It's not too late. Go back. See you next time.